It's your favorite furball squirrel checking in once again. All right, so basically I had to do, well, I chose to do a retrofit for one of my good friends' Q50 headlights with a readily available DRL RGB Bluetooth controlled kit that's available. I don't want to say anybody's names because I don't want to trash anybody or anyone's product. But needless to say, the experience wasn't, well, it wasn't that great. And in the end, my bro doesn't have full functionality over his color control and whatnot. And really, I'm not going to go into a lot of detail on that. So basically, I was thinking, I'm like, you know what? I think I'm going to give this a shot and see if I can't come up with a solution, a DIY solution with readily available components and parts, supplies, with the exception of the LEDs. All right, so this is his right OEM lower DRL board out of the Crest, which served as my template for my substrate. I went through several different trial experiments, if you will, until I finally found a readily available product that you can get at your local hardware store that is just as good as this total assembly here in its finished product. Now, obviously, this isn't aluminum, so it's not going to offer that heat sink that the OEM offers, as you can see here. But basically, I just used that as a template, traced it out, cut it out. This is flexible, it's thin, it's durable, but it's thin enough that you can bend it, and it's rigid enough that you have to put some ass into it to tear it up. Now, here we have some LEDs. And in the beginning, when I started shopping for LEDs, I overlooked the most important thing with an automotive application, and that was the operating voltage of the LEDs. So over here we got the WS2812B. These are addressable. And if you look, these are 5050 SMD chips mounted on heatsink, a PCB. Let me see if I can zoom in on that guy. There we go. And on the back side is the soldering pads. Now, I got these off Amazon from BTF Lighting, which, if you're into LEDs at all and you shop on Amazon like most of us American consumers, you're familiar with the brand. Now, I have no major complaints at all with these LEDs. The problem with it is that they can only operate on a 5-volt voltage. And I was trying to make my kit with as little as possible. You know, over here we have WS2815s mounted on heatsink PCBs, soldering pads on the back, 5050 SMD chips, same size as those, same intensity and brightness as the 12Bs, but the 15s operate safely at 12 volts. Now, as you can see here, I've got that substrate material, and like I said, I used the OEM board as a template, and also I made note of making sure that I had the exact location of where the OEM LED was placed on each section here. And then I used a leather hole punching tool and just punched a rather large hole, and then set the 2815s into that substrate. And then I also, on Amazon, I went to BTF and picked up some JST-SM male and female connectors to serve as obviously my connections to my controller. And then I set each LED in here, did my soldering joints. I know you're probably thinking, damn, that wiring looks nutty, but it serves a function. So once I set the LEDs in the substrate there, if you've ever disassembled the Q50 headlights and pulled your DRL boards, you know that they have to flex and manipulate around a bend, a curvature, a bend. So I have them set with some UV curing JB Weld adhesive, which works fantastic, I will say. And this little bit of extra wiring between each chip there will ensure that I can flex this around the assembly when I go to set these in my headlights. Now, just to give you an idea of how much I have in this kit so far, I purchased a WLED. Well, I take that back. In the beginning, I was going to run an LED controller, a WLED controller, but I couldn't find one that had Bluetooth capability, and I wasn't trying to run off the Wi-Fi AP that the first controller I bought has on it. So that one was $23, free shipping. This is an ESP32 WLED controller with a built-in microphone. This one doesn't have the Bluetooth control, so to use this you would have to establish a Wi-Fi AP, which is cool, but I just didn't want to use that. I prefer Bluetooth, so this will factor into my total cost for my project DIY kit here. I ultimately decided on this one. Now, I'm not going to have the WLED app. This one uses the Bandlax, I believe it's pronounced. This one has 4 trigger inputs, as you can see here. And then you can control 4 different channels from 4 different triggers. And it's got Bluetooth. I personally like the app that this controller comes with. It's just as good as WLED. It just doesn't have as many of the preset effects, which is fine with me. I don't really care. It has effects that I like and that fit my style and how, you know, my swagger with my car. This one was $23. Now, the substrate I got at my local hardware store, it was $9.98 for like, I believe it's like 50-foot roll of it. The LEDs combined, I have just under $60 in the LEDs. Now that's including the first pack of LEDs that I bought, not paying attention that I needed to run it at 12 volts. So the second set, which are the 12 volt LEDs, those were $26 with shipping. The BTF JST male and female connectors, I think that was $10 total. So if you do the math, right now I don't even have half of what it costs to buy an RGB Bluetooth controlled DRL retrofit for the Q50 headlights. Now, most of y'all that might watch this video are probably going to go, yeah, I don't think I would invest this much time into this, but shit, you know, this is the kind of dude I am. This is the kind of enthusiast I am. Plus, I know when I get done, because I've already tested this strip, that it works. I know the controllers, every controller that I've bought actually will power this strip, and every LED functions correctly. The brightness is full across all 6 of these LEDs. So I know my finished product is going to be spot on. There ain't going to be no second guessing. So stay tuned. I'm going to do a little video with me installing these in my headlights. But this is a part 1 right here. All right, now it's your favorite furball squirrel.